No intro, right?
Yeah.
Yo,
No,
yo,
we're
good
in it.
morning, good
We're,
morning, good morning,
oh,
good
hold on. We don't
morning,
need to do all
world.
that. So let's talk about this. They're giving me shit because I won't play. I'm wearing a golf hat, but I don't
Hey,
play golf.
hey,
I
Zach,
am
please,
not playing in 100-degree weather.
hey,
It
Zach,
ain't
pardon me,
happening.
pardon me. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the People's Rebuttal Podcast with your host, Von Solo, Zach Whiteside, and Mafia the Reminder.
Uh-huh.
It looks like we already ready to go. And so, Zach, you were saying, though.
Yeah. I'm gonna sit there and talk. I'm not getting out in 100-degree weather to play some damn golf. It's not happening.
Well, you don't get to make that decision once you move to Texas. Who are you?
What do you mean? Who am I?
Who are you?
I'm
You
not
don't
doing.
get to make that decision once you move to Texas.
I can
Okay,
make the decision not to go stand out in it. Yes, I can.
okay,
I may
pardon me.
live here and run my $500 air conditioner bill, but I am not getting out in this heat.
And if I may, gentlemen, for our listeners, the conversation came up about playing golf in the Texas heat. So this is the conversation at hand at this time. Please carry on, gentlemen.
No, that's
It's
the end of it.
so entertaining. That's the end. Okay.
That's the end of it. I am not playing golf when it's 100 degrees outside. I'm not playing golf when the day is going to be. We're on national news. NBC is in Dallas talking about how hot it is
Okay.
in
yeah,
Dallas
yeah.
and our drought, everything else. So,
Hmm.
yeah, not doing it.
Yeah, we are pretty hot out here.
Yeah. So
But
but
you stay here in Texas, so
I'm
you
fine
know,
with staying here in Texas. I ain't
do it.
going to get out next.
You
Ain't
gotta
doing
do
it.
what Romans do, baby.
hey, not the Romans.
I feel you. I feel you. Even if you do get out there at 6 o'clock or 7, it's heating up the entire time you're out there. You got to remember the temperature going up the whole time you're out there. But I
Yeah.
feel you. I only played. I ain't played a handful of times myself. So,
Yeah.
but now that you're sponsored by Titleist, I just was just asking the question.
Sponsored, huh?
Yeah, I thought he was sponsored by Titleist, so I just asked the question. My bad. No pun intended.
None. No fisticuffs needed, huh?
No fisticuffs needed. How you guys doing this great Friday morning?
Go ahead, Zach.
I'm good.
'Cause I'm great. Yeah, man, I'm great.
I'm good.
I was supposed to be on a flight this morning for a class reunion in Chicago, which was canceled. So I'm repositioning, trying to make it happen. But it's all good. Great
What
morning,
class
good coffee.
reunion? What class reunion was this?
So this will be 28th for high school, and it was an all class reunion. Now my official class reunion for my class is next week,
What year did you graduate?
94.
Oh, okay. You ain't that much older than me. Okay,
Age ain't nothing but a number, baby.
that's
Going
it.
down ain't nothing but a thing.
That's it. Aaliyah was fucking with R. Kelly a long time ago.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
I hear you talking. So what's going on in the news, man? Zach, what's on your mind you want to throw out in the ether for us today?
What you mean?
Topics for today.
Well,
Well,
Okay.
let's go. Let's start with the Hall of Fame game. I know Mr. Vaughn over here is very excited as I am for football,
that
and
I am.
yeah,
I,
and it's Raiders came out. What'd you think of your? I know they tossed a few of your starters out there, Vaughn.
Yeah, they did. Um,
Yeah.
first of all, I'm excited about the first game of the season, and a lot of us who um, wondering why your team doesn't play in the Hall of Fame game is because you don't have a lot of Hall of Famers, people that's going to the Hall of Fame. A lot of us don't know that most of the time when the teams that play in the Hall of Fame game, they have somebody going in, and so um,
okay.
yeah, so we've been fortunate to have some players, a lot of players go in the last 5 years, and
Okay.
Last night we look good, for a team that has a new coach, but we got to remember this coach inherited a 10-plus win team. And not only that, he's already a previous Super Bowl winner. So we look like, to be an honest assessment, we had some bright spots on offense. The big starters didn't play, with the exception of Jobs Jacobs, the running back.
Running back. Okay.
But we had a couple of guys that showed up pretty big in the running back area. So I'm still a little bit concerned about the offensive line, like John's saying right here. What's up, John? What it is?
Morning, John.
Yeah, I'm still concerned about that. I just think they need to make a couple adjustments, and they'll probably be all right. But that was a great kickoff for the Raiders and a great kickoff for football fans everywhere. I'm just, yeah, I appreciate you because that weed eater getting to work back there in that back. I heard it. Yeah, I'm just excited that the NFL season's going on, and I got friends that's equally excited as me. I just love to see everybody ready be ready to see their teams play. So I'm ready to see the Bears, see what they got. I'm ready to see what the 49ers got. I'm ready to see what everybody got. So last night was a good break-in icebreaker for me.
What did you think of? What did you think of the number one overall pick
Oh, he looked
for
good.
Jacksonville?
He looked good. He looked good. He looked good. And last night it helped clarify why they chose him over the Aiden Hutchinson guy out of Michigan. I didn't realize this guy also played inside. He played inside and outside. So, and he was a stand-up linebacker, which makes him a more versatile pick than the Aiden Hutchinson guy that was projected to go number one or projected to be the number one edge rusher chosen. So, to answer your question, he looked good last night. He built up pretty strong. He looked like he's going to be able to do his job. He's ready to play. He came in ready to play. If you get picked in the top 10 and you get picked in the first round, that basically means that you're ready to play.
Yeah.
Brent?
Yeah. No, yeah, I didn't watch the game. I watched the highlights this morning. I really can't watch preseason. I'll watch the Bears when they come on, but that's about the extent of my. It's just too annoying watching guys that some of them are never going to play. Knowing now that they were going to put him out there, I probably would have made a different choice.
So what you're saying? You don't like watching backups?
I think after what because they're only doing 3 preseason games this year, so I think once you get through the no, they changed, didn't they? No, it's 3. It's 3 preseason games this year now.
Oh, okay.
I think y'all get 4 because of the Hall of Fame game.
Well, the Hall of Fame counts as a preseason game too.
Yeah, but I think that they give y'all another game because of the Hall of Fame game. I think it's.
Yeah, that's
I
what
don't
John
remember
said.
what it is.
Yeah, we got 4 because of that game.
Right, but everybody else only has 3. That's my understanding.
That's how they do the Raiders, baby. Give us an extra game.
I'm looking forward to that Thursday night game. That first Thursday night game, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Having the Bills,
the Rams, and the Bills.
Who would have or should have been in the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Who put the Chargers out last year?
I don't even remember. Who put the Raiders? Who put the Raiders out?
The Bengals.
No.
The Bengals. It's going to be a great year for the AFC West. The AFC teams are stacked, is what they say. But everybody's a professional. and the team that's going to jail the fastest and put everything together the fastest from a team standpoint is probably going to see the quickest success at the beginning of the year. I'm looking forward to watching Kyler Murray and them do great at the beginning of the season and tumble at the end as usual.
Woo!
Was that a slug, as the young kids
Well, it
call it?
wasn't no slug. That's facts. The last
Fact.
3 years, he's didn't fell down. He start off hot and then they get terrible. What does he do once his top receiver gone and people start getting injured? What are you gonna do, Mister $200 and something million?
Okay, so with that being said, I just have a question. I mean, you did it and went through it 3 times. You don't think they have a chance of correcting that the 4th time and people staying healthy? Some
I didn't
things.
say all I said. I'm just looking forward to seeing him drop again. That's it. I don't know. I don't know.
So you
All I
know,
could do is go off of what you didn't show me.
I get
And
it.
he showed me what he could. I don't they've lost some key pieces
Hmm.
and added some pieces. So that team is not the same team. No team is the same team from the previous year. So it'll be nice to see you know what they'll do. But the teams in their conference have gotten better too.
Hmm.
So is Kyler Murray considered a top tier quarterback?
He just got paid like one. I would think so.
Yeah, he got paid like that just because the market says that though.
Hmm. I mean, potentially, I think he have potential to be really good.
Yeah, he got potential. I'm talking about where he at right now though.
Okay, but where were you when you were in your first
I'm just
quarter of
saying.
your career?
I'm
You
just
know what I'm
saying.
saying?
But I'm saying right now, if we're talking about upper, middle, and lower tier quarterbacks, where is Kyler Murray at? Is he top 15?
I would say, and I'm not even an avid football, into it like that, but just looking at skill wise. But again, you know, I depict the game and break it down, and there's a lot of factors that depends on one individual's success, especially a quarterback. You know, it's like your Raiders. You know what I'm saying? You can score 24, 25 points a game, but you still in dog fights losing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Is that the quarterback? Is that the defense? Is that the coach? You know,
Yeah, and nothing all on one player, but
you say,
however, but however, when you in control of when you had that pill when you got that pill in your hand every play, you got a lot of responsibility on you. And
and I,
it's not like the other 31 quarterbacks not playing with the ball in their hand. And so it comes down to who's making the best decisions. And when he lost DeAndre Hopkins last year,
mhm,
he didn't do shit. It's like your job is also to make some other players better too. And
I
if
get
you're
it.
running, if you're a versatile quarterback like he say he is, why the hell you didn't put the team on your back and run? Is he better than Josh Allen? That's the
Well,
question. Is he better than Josh Allen? Is he better than
Who?
Dak
Is Kyler
Prescott?
Murray better than Josh Allen? No. Is he
Is
better?
he
No.
better than Dak Prescott?
No.
Hell
wh-
no. That mean he not even a top 15 quarterback.
but at the same time, would he be better on those teams with that personnel? Is a better question.
What
You know what I'm saying?
personnel?
And I mean, like, if you put him in Buffalo, would he succeed? You know what I'm saying? Would he do well as a
Hell
Josh Allen
no.
did? You
No.
don't think so?
No, he's not a better thrower of the ball than Josh Allen. And
And
Josh
I'm
Allen, he's not a better runner than Josh Allen.
really
Hell no.
okay.
Hell no. I'll take Josh Allen any day over Kyler Murray. Any day.
And I'm not saying if he's better than Josh Allen. That wasn't
Well,
the
you
point
said
of
if you
my
put him
question.
on the
If you
Bills,
put him in that person with that personnel, like he lost a
you put
major part.
Josh Allen on Arizona team and they'll be a better team.
Okay, I get that,
Period.
and
Period. He's a better
that's where I was
quarterback to
going.
me. He's got better physical talents, and he's taking his team deeper. Even though Arizona had a better record, they had the #1 record last year and fell from the top.
Mhm.
They fell from the top. I don't know what else to say. He's doing the same thing. I mean, once every quarterback is great till you start getting hit. So they started getting hit.
Tony
Now
Romo.
Yeah, are you the same quarterback after that? Are you the same person after adversity hits you? And of course, every quarterback looks great when things are going good. But who are you once you start getting hurt and you lose your number one receiver, or if your defense ain't playing well and they scoring just as much as you scoring? You know, what kind of quarterback are you?
Well,
Okay.
I heard I was listening. It was some NFL thing, and they were talking about quarterbacks, and they were kind of addressing the same thing. And one of the guys says, "Well, but if you go back and look, who do you credit with Tony Romo's early success?" And the guy goes, "Oh, fucking Flozell Adams. Flozell Adams was the reason that Tony Romo had early success."
Okay. But
That's a
but
good point.
so I want to throw the coaching aspect in there. You know what I'm saying? I look at Josh Allen versus Kyler Murray. You know, Josh Allen, in my opinion, from looking at the game as a spectator, it seems that he has a lot of command and control over the offense. I can't say the same for Kyler Murray in Arizona from what I've seen. And I think that's a very valid point to throw in there because if you have control of the offense and you can manipulate the plays and audibles and things of that nature, that can make you great in a sense. But I wonder, did the coach give him those reins? And when I say him, a Kyler Murray, things of that nature. And then if he wasn't put in place, it goes back to one of the major things that I say about sports and athletics, coaching, man. You know what I
Well, I
mean?
mean, now you're talking more along the Aaron Rodgers, side of things. Aaron Rodgers, Packers, 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 and then he gets pissed off because, and at first I thought he was mad because they got a backup quarterback, but after I started looking into it, he wasn't mad because they got a quarterback. He was mad because they wasted a pick and didn't give him somebody to throw to. That's what he was upset about. That he didn't have the people he needed to throw to.
Okay. Which is a valid point.
No, I mean 100%. But I think you see that, you know, in this kind of thing. You're not giving me the tools. Let's say you work for a company, and that company's like, hey, go fix this line. All right, well, I need a fiber splicer. I need a tester. I need all these things. Like, no, just go out and do it. And you're just like,
Yeah.
hold on, man. You're not giving me the tools. You're literally setting me up to fail.
To fail. Yes.
And so, and that's a valid point, but you see the players reacting to that nowadays. That you see them saying, all right, I want to trade. Well, why do you want to trade? Well, they're not successful. And a lot of times they don't put it out there like that. And I think, especially on the business end of it, if more of these players would put it out there as, look, they're setting me up to fail. Aaron Rodgers, no, there's no doubt he's a great quarterback, but if he doesn't have anybody to throw to, it doesn't make a difference.
And he's the type of quarterback with an IQ where he don't even need a coach. They can make me the coach and he can still be successful because of
Well, and
his
that
IQ.
was just like the Green Bay talking about how it was Aaron Rodgers' team. It wasn't really the guy who's now
The
in
coach.
Dallas.
Okay.
Now, the one that's in Dallas now. That was their whole deal. Was Aaron was trying to basically be like, no, we need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Not this, because this obviously is not working. I need to do this, and I think that's a lot of what happened in Tampa Bay. It was basically, and
Mm-hmm.
even that coach even came out and said, he comes in here and he's basically he's basically out here showing people what they need to do to be successful. And a successful coach would be like, well, just like with anybody, you would be like, you know what? It's like your kids, I'm gonna let you do it your way. If you fall on your face, we're gonna do it my way.
Mm.
You
So,
know,
so if I understand you correctly, Zach, so personal agendas get into the play, or egos get thrown into the mix, and that can cause some turbulence in a sense. Is
well,
what you're
which
saying?
is right, which is in the end, it's ignorant. In Baltimore, the head coach out there basically said, Flacco isn't our quarterback. Lamar Jackson's our quarterback. So now we have to build around we have to build our plays. We have to build, how we work. Flacco needed a ton of protection. Not
Mhm.
that Lamar Jackson doesn't need protection, but Lamar Jackson doesn't need the O-line, the type of O-line that Flacco needed, right?
Okay.
Any quarterback who sits in the pocket, Tony Romo. Tony Romo needs one of the strongest offensive lines and some good receivers because he's going to get him the ball, back in his day. But the moment that you get rid of and you don't have the elite, offensive line, the Slaughters, the Adams, the big guys out there doing it, then you then turn around and make, you make him unsuccessful because watching Tony Romo run was like a duck out of water. It didn't work.
Okay, so Zach, with that point, is that a coaching entity? Is that a quarterback entity? Who makes that choice and that decision at the end of the day?
Well, but that's everybody. I mean, well, if they're smart, it's everybody. Flozell said the story of he told a coach, I can't do that way. It doesn't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what the situation was, but he basically, when he was talking about it, he was like, they put me at this position. I was like, coach, I'm not good like that. And I think it was Nick Saban. I think that's who he was talking about. The smart thing for any coach to do would be to say, try it my way. Let's see what you got. And if you've tried it, if you've tried it enough times and I agree with you, then we'll move you to where you need to be. And obviously he was successful in being, the left tackle. But you can't set somebody, Mafia. Here we go. You ready?
I'm ready, baby.
They set Devin Hester up to fail when they made him a wide receiver.
I agree.
He was a phenomenal,
special team, specialty, but a full-time receiver. I agree. So with everything you just said, it goes back to something I mention all the time, where a coach comes in and they try to put a personnel into a system where the system don't works for this person's capabilities. I'm not saying it can't happen, but that's when the coach have to be a coach. You understand what I'm saying? I know you're not comfortable doing this. All right, let me put this and structure this in this way where you in your comfort zone and we both get what we need. That's coaching.
I think
versus
good coaches do it.
Know your personnel.
Exactly. And that's one of my points. Like, it's so many things that goes into a team, but we look at the news, we look at all this stuff, and we're influenced by someone else's perspective when a lot of times they never even played the game.
At all.
And I'm speaking from the trenches, from being out there, from experiencing good coaches and bad coaches, and what I'm saying, good players, mediocre players. Like, for instance, I had a kid, man, one time.
But on the
Go ahead.
But on the professional side, that's just working for a company as well. And you hear that nowadays, guys that are like, I want to be traded. I don't want to play here anymore. You have these aren't children that, they're in high school, they have a bad coach or a good, well, let's just say they have a bad coach and like, well, I just want to play for a different school. It doesn't work that way. But in pro sports, you have it. I mean, these guys are out there tweeting, having news conferences, they're doing all that. So, I think some of that had to do, Kyler Murray, when he pulled whatever he pulled, they've talked about how Lamar Jackson, although having his mom as his agent, he has made moves, whether it be on Twitter or anything else, to basically say, hey, this is this. And I think Kyler Murray tried it. He just probably did it himself and didn't have a lot of help. Of course, he ended up getting paid, and that comes to another question. Does he really care anymore? Do you have an entire class of, hold on, really?
I'm trying.
Do we have an entire class of players out there that don't care as long as they get paid?
Okay. Now, when you say he,
so were you speaking Murray?
Kyler Murray. Okay.
No, I'm saying Kyler Murray. I mean, you say Kyler Murray. Did he want to get traded? Did he want to go in another team? Or did he just want to get paid and now he's fine? I'm fine. I don't care who I play for. I'm making well, and if you look at the he's not really making $200 million. He has to play X amount of years, and
Yeah,
certain
yeah,
things have to happen, and all that. But you know, getting 200 and something, does he basically say, all right, well, I'm going to do my 4 hours a week. I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to get paid. I don't care about the rest. Because I will say this, dealing with a lot of the retired guys, you look at the Ed Too Tall Joneses and the Randy Whites and the Tony Casillas and, all the guys from back then who loved the game.
yes.
They weren't just out there to get paid. They loved the game of football. I mean, you
Mhm.
you you sit around Ed for more than 5 minutes talking football. The dude is a genius. I mean, pure love the game, loves to talk about the game, loves to watch the game, loves to it doesn't matter, college, professional, knowing where these guys are coming from and who should be the number one draft pick and who should be this and how this should be. I mean, there are those types of players, but we now know that in this day and age,
Thank you.
they're not as much of a fan of the game of football. And the question is, was Kyler Murray or anybody that does that, is it really about winning or is it more about just getting paid?
Okay. And I'm glad you made the point that that was then, this is now, because again, goes back to my two definites in life: death and change. It's gonna happen. It's all about our perception and how we adjust to these changes and deaths and things of that nature. But it's a totally different game now. And I can see it could have been for the money, it could have been for the love, it could have been, hell, I ain't got to do this shit. I can go play baseball. It could have been a number of things. I get it. But for him to say, I want to go somewhere else, I look at the bigger picture. There's something else going on behind that.
But I
Where,
don't think he
But
necessarily.
and that's the question.
I don't think he said that though. I don't think he said he wanted to go somewhere else. They made that. That was a rumor that came up that he wanted to leave,
okay,
and then he made a statement saying that he never said that.
okay,
Who,
That's,
Kyler? Which we're
Tyler,
talking
yeah,
about
yes,
Kyler?
yes,
He
yeah,
put out
Kyler.
a tweet, didn't
Yeah,
he?
but
He
it
put
didn't
out a
say he
tweet or
wanted to
something and
leave.
changed his right, but he changed. I mean, it's. But you look, Lamar Jackson did a similar thing. You take down the name of the team you're playing for. And that's kind of like you know, fuck you. Let's see what's next. But and I'm with you. I mean, you can't just presume to know what somebody's wanting to do or what they're going to do.
right,
But
And
yeah,
today's kids and today's athlete and today's younger generation, they handle adversity differently too.
yes,
And so
I
by
agree.
him taking down that team, it was perceived as a slap in the face to the team, or saying, "Hey, that we had some type of dissension between, the two parties." And one can assume that. And from us being born in a different generation, the first thing we look at is like, who does that? I'm like, who does that if you disgruntled with your employer?
Mhm.
It's like who does that? First of all, you're up on the contract, and so you're gonna be there anyway. And you kicking, you kicking and screaming while you're there usually doesn't do anything. But what we're seeing in the NFL and the NBA is now that you could kick and scream, and the team responds to you. Just because you don't like something that's going on there. And I just, you know, Kyler Murray has had instances in his career where he doesn't look like he's mature enough to handle that role. And of course, he's a young guy, and at that age, but you can compare him to other young quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes not 25 or 26 yet, is he? Is Josh Allen that old? He just about the same age as Josh Allen is. So it's like, there's definitely some leadership questions there, and in today's day and age, because of how much money is out there, and how exposed we are to another player's contract, you do have that added pressure as a player to go out there and get as much money as you could get. They've been doing the players like that. If you paying Patrick Mahomes $500,000, How much you think the damn owner making? $500 million. I'm sorry. How much you think that? How much you think the damn owner making? You know,
Yeah.
at the end of the day. So, part of me says, hey, go out there and get as much as you can, but you still have some. You still have, but the other side says that you still have something to do with the integrity of the game and a responsibility that you have as a publicly known athlete to people who sit down and pay to watch, you entertain them.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're halfway through. So I wanted to kind of, touch on some other stuff. So the NFL has filed the appeal for Deshaun Watson.
Mhm.
So which I think is utterly ridiculous. They want him out for a whole season. They want a lifetime ban on him.
It's
Really?
I thought that was very
Really?
interesting.
Really?
So, yeah,
Okay.
they want they want him gone forever and ever. And
Okay.
so
you
I
can't,
thought
but you
that
can't
was,
do that. You
what do you
can't do that. He ain't convicted of nothing.
Nothing.
right.
He's convicted
Well,
of
so
nothing. He's accused.
I did find out that, or it was basically on the deal where they were talking about it, was that the he did violate there's a personal conduct thing,
Okay.
and I think by paying the women, it basically admitted to guilt. That's where it's at. So
Okay.
it's not about whether he was convicted or not. It's about their whatever's in the NFLPA and whatever contract that talks about the personal conduct, and paying these women is basically an admission of guilt to the NFL. I thought that was interesting. Ignorant, but I thought it was
But
interesting.
it's still an accusation.
Okay.
That's still, we talking about people's feelings,
Yes.
Correct.
because you felt like he's supposed to be guilty. We come back and try to do what's right in front of the perception of people.
Hmm.
Even though this man was exonerated from all of those charges from a legal standpoint.
Hmm.
It just don't make no sense. It's like you still fucking guilty and you're not.
Yeah.
And I don't like that shit. How you gonna continue to go back? We don't even talk about George Zimmerman no more.
Hmm. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And just help me understand, like, so when he was, I don't know if you want to use trial. Was it in a court of law, or was this young lady part of the NFL when
What
he
lady?
was the whomever presided over him and said he was not
No,
guilty?
it was in court.
It was in court. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So my next point is, what's different between his situation and the situation with the owner of the Patriots when he went through a similar type of situation? He wasn't.
In which
They,
he actually had facts of him being in a place.
you see what I'm saying? They didn't say they wanted him out the league for so many years. They didn't
No,
say
they
he
did
couldn't be
not.
an owner for so many years. I'm just trying to understand.
No, they
And
did not.
I don't know the full details of both of these entities or experiences,
I
but
don't
I'm
know
just trying
either.
to understand.
I don't
His
know either,
wasn't,
but it's factual
yeah,
that he was
but
in those massage parlors. I know
no,
that.
they had video. Yeah.
I'm
No,
talking
no,
about
no.
of Robert
But
Kraft.
yeah, and they had video of Robert Kraft, but the difference is it was paid for. His happy ending was paid for.
So you
And
think
Crafts wasn't?
so you yeah.
His
And
yeah,
No,
Crafts
he
wasn't?
Kraft and who?
no, he's
I'm
talking
asking.
about Crafts, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
Oh,
you
what?
mean to tell me you think
Kraft
Deshaun
paid for a
Watson
happy
didn't
ending.
pay? You don't think he paid for those massages?
You mean the happy endings? I don't know, but
If
his
he
was
had
like,
the happy ending.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just saying that we have several instances where men have been put in positions, or they put themselves in positions where there's a lot of questionable things happening. But all I'm saying, I'm not saying it didn't happen or it did. I'm saying that when the man went to court, they said he was not guilty, and it wasn't just, and he had
Was his
and he
not
had,
guilty, or did it
he had,
get dismissed?
I don't know. I think it was not guilty. And he
I
had,
thought it was dismissed. I thought it got dismissed, like they settled out of court.
well, he did settle out of court. A lot of
Right,
them
which
did.
means he didn't actually go to anything. They just whoever the person. I mean, I don't know, but I always thought that his was just a standard dismissal, which means you don't go to trial. It's just like if I accuse somebody of doing something and then I take back the charges, and then the thing is unlike other things where there's evidence. The only evidence that they have is that girl's testimony. So if she decides not to testify, it goes away. And I think that's basically what happened was she decided not to testify because she reached a money settlement, and therefore they don't it doesn't move forward.
Okay, tell me this, and just help me understand, and for any of our listeners, what was Deshaun Watson action? What actions did he commit that he got into this situation? Do any of
Imagine
us
you're
know
getting
it?
a massage. Well, no, but you can get no, and Vaughn may be able to look that up. But my understanding is all he was really doing is they were giving him a massage, and he was touching them.
Okay, he was touching them. We don't know how or where.
And one of them said his dick came out and he touched him with his dick. Like girl,
do what?
One of them said his thing touched him.
Touched her. Okay.
Yeah. Like
so this is it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Came from up under the sheets like a raptor.
Okay.
Okay, so he didn't whip it and slap her in the face with that.
And I'm a person that gets massages, and so I'm just trying to understand. I know when they tell me to turn over, what have you, they hold the cover up, all that kind of stuff. Not
TV.
looking. So I'm just trying to understand, like,
you got the old TP.
What? I'm just trying to understand, what was he actually accused of? Like, did he physically actually touch a woman? You know what I'm saying?
I think that's what it is. It's not rape, but it's sexual misconduct.
Okay.
So he gets sued. So he got sued for touching women while they was massaging him.
I believe so. Yes.
Little nasty bastard.
Yeah, there was no accusations of rape. It was literally sexual misconduct, which I don't even think is a crime, but whatever.
And this was 25 different women that this happened to, if I understand correct. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, but if you think about it, the first one comes out, and anybody who ever gave him a massage came out of the woodwork. That's what it looked like.
Okay, but I just want to understand, was this 25 women that was actually touched by him in an inappropriate way? Is the accusation.
What you got?
So it says 24 women accused Watson of assault in civil lawsuits filed in Harris County, which is Houston, Texas. The lawyer representing him said women who largely echo one another's claims of sexual misconduct and coercive behavior against Watson. He reached settlements with all but one of the 24 women who filed civil lawsuits against him. 20 suits were settled in June, and shortly before Robertson issued her ruling, Watson reached agreements with 3 more women, including Ashley Solis, a licensed massage therapist who filed the first claim against Watson in March of 2021. 2 of the cases included claims of sexual assault. So he has two of the claims had sexual assault along with sexual misconduct.
Sexual assault is touching. Yeah, it's not rape.
Okay.
Not that it's okay, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. Watson said that both cases have to have pressured women to perform oral sex during massages, and was accused in one of also having grabbed a woman's buttocks and vagina. The civil suits allege that Watson engaged in a pattern of lewd behavior with women hired to provide professional services, coercing them to touch them in a sexual manner, exposing himself to women for hire who he hired for massages or moving his body in ways that forced him to touch his penis. The incidents cited in the suits were said to have occurred from March 2020 to March 2021. Two of the Watson's accusers publicly identified themselves in April, giving statements that described their alleged encounters. Solis, the first of the women to file suit, read the statement from a news conference. Another woman provided a letter she addressed to Watson was read by one of her associates. Before the settlements, Watson's lawyers had filed a motion asking the court to compel all the plaintiffs to reveal their identities, citing the use of pseudonyms in civil suits in violation of Texas law. They condemned Busby for conducting discovery faced by Facebook and trial by press conference, and asking the public to act as judge and jury.
The public. Okay. And now my situation with this is, and this is no derogatory mindset towards these women, but I just think about a woman. If she has something that's done to her, the time of, why isn't that reported? Where you have to wait for a community of people to say, "Oh, me too." That, and again, this is no derogatory thing towards these women, but I'm just thinking from the psychological aspect of someone that's being violated. At that time of that violation, when, like, how did it get past the first one when she didn't say nothing the day of? The second
Right.
one, the 15th one, the 19th one. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's no justification.
Why wasn't it stopped then?
Yeah, well, my thing is, come out and say it right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're being violated, say it right now.
Yeah, if you got a problem with something now, it's just like, it ain't no different from if you walk in the club and somebody grab your girl ass. They fighting right there. Why are you not fighting? When it happens.
Right now.
Right now. I'm not
but
saying
why
it
didn't
didn't
they file
happen.
charges? Because that is a crime in the state of Texas to touch somebody in their no-no spot.
Fondling.
So that's what I don't get. Why did you go to civil court? I mean, because you can go to criminal, they get found guilty, then you go to civil court. I never understood how that works. Also, I look at these people like, Donald Trump, Epstein, all these women who settled out of court just so, and this is mine, it's not Vaughn's, it's not Mafio, and it's not the People's Rebuttal opinion. This is my opinion. But if a woman settles with the person who did that to them, the next woman it happens to is on your ass.
Okay.
I agree with that.
You did.
I agree with that because you went for the money.
Yep,
you went for the money, and you didn't go for the punishment. Yeah, and
when you could have gone for both.
And well, yeah, and I think taking a settlement shows that you really didn't care much about the touching. Well, the touching wasn't that bad.
Yep. Well,
if you truly for the cause.
Even OJ got found not guilty and still had to pay all that money in that wrongful death suit. I mean, but I think that's wrong. He got found not guilty, but then civil court, that I think is fucking ridiculous. But, in this instance, if he got found guilty in criminal court, the lawsuit's done. You're going to win no matter what.
Right.
But now the next woman's on you. You have all that shit that happened at Fox News that with Bill O'Reilly, paying all those women 100 something, 200 something, and the one that hit the fences that actually came out was the $30 million. She's the one that came out. She's the one that made a big deal or made the splash.
Mm-hmm.
but she took the money.
Yeah, she took the 30 million. So anybody who came after Gretchen Carlson, any woman who got touched by Bill O'Reilly after Gretchen Carlson, and of course nobody knows what her deal was. We don't know. Maybe she said if it happens again, which would be a smart thing. Hey, I'm happy to take this $200,000 or $250,000 from you, Deshaun Watson. Okay, I'm going to take this money and I'm gonna sign that NDA, the non-disclosure agreement.
No. Mm-hmm.
But if it ever happens again, it voids my NDA.
I guess.
I mean, but think about it. That means the first woman that it happened to in every scenario was like, I'm going to do this. But if it ever happens again, know that my NDA has been violated. And they're actually trying on a federal level to get rid of NDAs and not allow them
What does that stand for
to be
again?
around.
Non-disclosure agreement.
Oh, non-disclosure,
yeah. They're trying to make it where you can't do it anymore.
So, Zach, if I understand correctly, the part you're saying about if it happens again, you mean like if a woman give a massage, violate it, and then go back and massage again? Is that what you're saying?
No. So let's say girl one, Deshaun Watson grabs her in her no-no spots, any one of them, right? Or does something inappropriate.
Yes.
Then she turns around and she goes and, maybe she doesn't want to ruin his life, right? I mean, you give somebody the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to ruin your life. You've never heard about it in the past. Maybe this is the first time he's ever done it. So you basically go to his attorney and, obviously they're going to offer him money and then they're going to make him sign an NDA. But have a clause in the NDA that basically says, if this happens again, it voids my NDA. In other words, if you do this to somebody else and it comes to light,
I see what you're saying.
My NDA is gone.
Yes, I see what you're saying.
I can talk about it all I want because that is a sign of habitual behavior.
I get it. Okay. Thank you for that explanation.
Right. Yeah. So that basically dissolves that.
Yeah.
If he was to commit the same, crime again.
Yes.
Just the general scope. I mean, it doesn't have to be the exact same. Well, I grabbed you in your butthole and I grabbed her, in her boob. It doesn't matter. Anything that's classified within that realm of things should be able to void that NDA. You got Vaughn with that. What? You grabbed her in the what?
And just so I understand at this point, and I thank you for that explanation. So it happens to one young lady. There's an agreement and a non-disclosure agreement. And so it happens to another young lady. Now, the very initial young lady, it nullifies the non-disclosure and she can discuss. Yep. Gotcha.
100%.
I totally agree
that
with
should be the standard.
I totally agree with that.
Again, I think NDA should have to be, which all lawsuits are public record. It's just what's in the lawsuit isn't always public records. But, another one comes up, anything happens, she's sitting there. Deshaun Watson, is once again being sued in civil court. She can go up to the civil court and say, what's the scope? Hey, the scope sexual. Great. Here's what happened to me. Just present, because now you got two people. And of course, now it becomes a phenomenal criminal issue because now you have, where it's happened in the past. So it's proof of a pattern, and that's the way you go about it.
Yeah, I get it.
So I want to make sure we get this topic in today. I was sitting there talking on the phone and, breaking news happened. So they sentenced Brittany Griner yesterday. Did y'all see that?
I didn't see it, but I heard little remnants, 9 years.
Basketball. Yeah, yes. The basketball player in Russia. They sentenced her to 9 years.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And now, with that being said, Vaughn, to us, it's ridiculous that lives in the United States. We don't know Russian laws.
It's still ridiculous.
So
it's still ridiculous. We're talking about weed.
And
At the end of the day, we're talking about weed.
But how much?
We talking about cocaine. You talking about
0.01
weed?
grams.
0.01 grams.
Yeah,
Of
0.0228 pounds
oil, right?
of oil. The
Come
vape.
on, man.
Okay, so how many? If I understand correctly, the vapes are in cartridges. Was that one cartridges? One cartridge? I'm sorry.
I don't know how many grams are in. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
Yeah.
know either. I'm not saying she should be exonerated from anything. I'm just saying that it's ludicrous. Nine
Well,
and a
and
half
so,
years for that. I just
and
think
I,
they're using her as a pawn to get the prisoner from here out. That's
yeah,
all.
the arms dealer. So here's my thing. First of all, when everybody was throwing a hissy fit about her getting arrested, I thought that was stupid. And they wanted her to, we'll just bring her back to America, bring her back. And I was like, well, that doesn't work. If we caught somebody at our border violating our laws, we're going to prosecute them here. So I have been 100% on board for, the shitty process, but you know where you're going. It's like going to a third world country. They don't have the best government in the world. So you made a choice to go to Russia. You had it. Great. It was an accident and you had a prescription for it. Well, guess what? I was explaining this to somebody yesterday. Speed limit on average in the state of Texas is 70, 75 miles an hour. The average speed limit in Illinois is 55. If I get pulled over going 70, 75 miles an hour, I can't. Well, I'm from Texas, and that's our speed limit. That's our legal speed. It does. You have to follow that. Now, once she was sentenced, I'm 100% in on that's some bullshit because that's a misdemeanor in the U.S. I don't know what that would be.
But again, we're
Trafficking
talking
into
about
the U.S.
different laws, and so I
What
thought
was she
about.
had a guy that she shot somebody in the head? I want to know what kind of
Instant death.
Instant death.
what if she had
I'm playing that.
what if she had vape and she had an ounce of weed?
Woo, that's 25 to a million years for them. Maybe that's instant death. I don't know. It
And
is
do we know?
excessive.
Do
It
we
is
know how
excessive.
many years she played in Russia?
Not more than she got in this sentence. That's for damn sure.
Damn.
Okay.
It's
She can
longer
make
than how
millions.
much experience she got in the league.
Okay.
She probably played in Russia a couple years, man.
Yeah.
And
And my
top,
thing is, I'm sorry. Go ahead. And the reason I
no
asked that
tops.
question,
Go ahead.
even if you played 1 year, B, you didn't know nothing about how they get down when it come to that.
She lying. Yeah.
She knew.
She don't.
Yeah, there's no way.
She
Every
knew
time
better.
she checked her
Yeah.
bag going over there, I promise she was like, "Whoa, I can't take nothing with me." Nobody goes. That's like being in Amsterdam and having it, and you know what you can and can't have.
But she
You
snuck it
don't make
over
a
there.
trip like that.
She
Yeah, you
snuck
don't
it
make a
over
trip
there.
like that.
She
Yeah. I
got
don't
caught
believe it was
coming back.
accidental. Yeah, I don't
She
believe it was
got come.
accidental.
She got caught coming back, which lets you know she didn't snuck the shit over there before. She probably snuck this shit over there and smoked it all before, but this time she had extra, and they never took it back.
Now,
Yeah.
Vaughn, you just said something that I didn't never take into account. She was coming back to America.
Coming back.
Yeah, she got it
So,
there.
so would that be my point exactly? Did she get it from here and take it there, or was she bringing it back? You know,
Man, I don't know.
But she
regardless.
had a prescription for it. That's her
That's her
reasoning behind it is
defense.
that she had
She
which
had
it doesn't make any sense.
a U.S. prescription or a Russian prescription.
No, she had a U.S. prescription.
Okay, is that upheld in a whole nother country?
As long as they got a Walgreens over there,
It's not even held up in
Other states,
from states to state.
right?
Matter of
So
fact, they're trying to do it, but see, here's the deal with weed and trying to get people, except for medical, and trying to get people. So, for example, if you go to Colorado and you get weed and you bring it back to Texas, you get in trouble. There's a whole group of people out there that are saying, well, but if I have a prescription and or I have the right to do it here, I should be able to do it here. But then you're going to get the gun lobbyist who are basically going to say, all right, if I have a conceal and carry in Texas, I should be able to conceal and carry anywhere I want.
No, I know that for
exactly.
a fact. Being an L,
but they
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they have a map. You know what I'm saying? You can see on this map where your LTC is you know, accepted or not. You know, things of that nature. Again,
well, I have that Benchmade, you know, automatic knife where the stiletto style where it shoots right out the top.
Mm-hmm.
That sucker stays at home when I'm traveling because even driving down the road, you can't have it. If I got pulled over in a state that didn't allow those types of knives, they literally, I mean, they can do whatever they want. It's a misdemeanor.
I don't know, man. It's just a sad situation. You know what I'm saying? I feel for her. I feel for the other gentleman that's locked in a whole another country. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, there has to be a personal accountability. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
And
there
knowing,
you go.
And I agree, but she should have gotten a year, including the time that she served so far,
Time
and been done with it. And been
they
done
gave
with
her shit for time served.
But then
She's
again,
just sitting over there.
But then again, does Russia have some type of law for time served? Now, America does, but does Russia? I don't know Russian laws, and that's something we might want to look into if we wanted to go deeper into this. But you know, that's a whole nother world, a whole different type of government over there.
Whatever. This is in another direction. Whatever. So what's going on with them in Ukraine? Are they still over there?
Oh yeah,
damn right they still over there.
They still trying to get in there.
Yep, they win some, they lose some, they win some, they lose some, they lose some, they win some.
I thought they was a great. I thought they was almighty and all powerful.
But you have
supposedly
allies.
they have never. Supposedly their military is like from the 80s, and we sending shit over there from 2022, motherfucker. And you want to shoot a cannonball at my ass? Well, suck on this fucking rocket.
Right.
That is hilarious. That's embarrassing too. They thought they was just going to take over. We're going to take over and we're going to slaughter everybody here. They like, man, bye.
3 days. The prediction was 3 days. That was the prediction. If Russia went into Ukraine in 3 days, they could literally take, because they would have basically come from every fucking corner. They would have come by sea. They literally could have done it in 3 days. That was the prediction.
Whose prediction was that?
Our military, European military people, U.S. military people. The day it started, they were like,
"Yeah, but so does that say they don't know what the fuck they talking about?"
No, I think it.
Well, what the fuck does it say?
Well, I think it says that we thought that their military was more ready to do it.
What that says is what we think don't fucking matter. That's exactly what that says. Just like all the Cowboy fans out there that think their team going to the Super Bowl, what you think and what the fuck you feel don't matter. In the Deshaun Watson case, it don't matter what you think and how you feel. It don't.
Yep.
The facts are there. You cannot get into motherfucking Ukraine.
Yeah. No, it is actually, because what happened, I think they got most of eastern Ukraine, and it was almost like the rope-a-dope. Like Ukraine kind of let them in, you know, gave them a little small battle.
Let's just see what they can give us. Let's see how much we can take.
Yep. They backed off, and then as soon as they were so spread out, Ukraine went in there and went,
right.
Now,
not like the Venus flytrap.
Now, my thing is, there's stipulations and rules of engagement and war, right? So
he's already violated almost all of them.
My point exactly. At what point does that take effect? You know what I'm saying? Or did that allow?
Already prosecuting? There's already 3 or 4 trials going on at The Hague right now over this. They're prosecuting. They got some 20-something-year-old kid who shot an unarmed old man who was just standing there, who they sent to The Hague for trial for what's it called? War crimes.
Okay,
Now,
so
they're already
isn't it a
doing it.
war crime to bomb public places and civilians that Russia has did on countless of times? What's the point? What's the elaboration
Yep.
about? What's the conversation? Why do you need dialogue when the act is done? I'm just trying to understand.
I'm with you, but now it's the point of how are you? You know, it's not like you can snatch Putin and prosecute him. You know, sanctions is about the only way you, unless he leaves, you know, Russia, and it's not part of a protected deal. You know, there's nothing you can do to Putin, but what they can do is if they catch you in Ukraine and somebody says he was part of the people who murdered all those unarmed people, they're not going to consider you a prisoner of war. They're going to send your ass over to The Hague and let them prosecute him for war crimes.
Okay, so with
All right,
that being,
guys, we
yeah,
oh,
go ahead. Go ahead. No,
we
go
got
ahead.
we got our
real
time, man. We got to know.
Quick
Yeah,
thoughts on the monkeypox.
I ain't got it.
Give me one word on what you think about the monkeypox.
I ain't got it.
political propaganda.
Oh wow.
Oh, come on.
Oh wow.
You're telling me when you see pictures of a guy covered in sores that they painted that on and did it for political propaganda?
Well,
I'm not saying that monkeypox doesn't exist. I'm not saying that corona exists. I really do believe it's some sort of political propaganda. That's just my thing.
You don't think he got monkeypox
right?
by
He's
putting his finger in somebody's ass like Deshaun Watson? Got accused.
Maybe that's how they got
I'm just
monkeypox.
asking.
Is that finger up there?
That's what. Hey,
I'm just saying.
It's forbidden in some states here. Maybe not in Russia because I don't know the rules.
All right, guys, let's go. Man, we appreciate y'all watching.
Yes, thank you for joining us for another amazing podcast of the People's Rebuttal Podcast. Yes, sir. I appreciate all our listeners joining us as always. Fine, go ahead, hit them.
Catch us every Tuesday and Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Y'all have a great weekend out there.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Peace. Bye.